Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's really not a bad idea at all.
It'd be even cooler if we can get a bus that's run on biodiesel or something.
Yeah.
I know a punk band in Fort Lauderdale that has one. Closest I got.
Oh, we could find. Yeah, we could do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, it's actually it's the Kenny Kramer idea plus the gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to think. It was something from like The Awful Truth or something like that.
I keep checking the this site because I said I would always keep it up, so I'm always keeping it up. But I'm making sure that we're the only viewer while we're doing a strategy session.
Yeah.
So what we could do is if we did something like that, we could incorporate. The bus tour would be one thing, and then we could incorporate like a couple of the other issues. You know, we could stage like like the stops. We could have a couple of different events, you know, for the stops.
I'd like to stop along the beach, and in Naples. Like, okay, look, 40 miles out there. That's where we're gonna get some oil. You like that beach? Yeah, I bet you like it with some oil right up there. Let's all go for a walk on the beach while we still got it.
You know, have people practice scrubbing oil off of pelicans.
Yeah. Maybe we can get some of the Exxon Valdez penguin scrubbers down to show everyone the technique.
Scrubbing oil off Beach Bob, that guy who got
the
guy who got arrested for wearing a Speedo on the beach
There you go.
by a Lee County sheriff in Collier County.
Yeah, Bonita Beach Bob.
I didn't hear him.
It's ridiculous. See, that gets national attention. Guy gets arrested in a Speedo, that's all over the web, all over the news.
When you put a guy on a sexual predator list for wearing a Speedo to the beach, who
He
was
was on
arrested
a
by
predator list? You're kidding me.
Well, when it's an indecent exposure in a
Yeah.
public family place sort of ticket, so that puts you on the sexual
Good
predator
God.
list.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Same thing as peeing behind a dumpster downtown after the bars close.
Yep.
It's amazing how many people on the
It puts
sexual
you right
predator
next to
list are there for
pedophiles.
indecent
Yeah.
exposure.
I know a few people who should be on there.
But like, if your kids are hanging out behind a dumpster downtown at 2 a.m., then that's a
Yeah.
problem.
You got bigger problems than worrying about some guy peeing. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Well, this idea has potential.
Yeah, it's great.
What we have to do is we have to. I think more than likely, the focus would be on the housing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
And we go into all the different neighborhoods and we
Yeah.
show the one common thing is all the houses being foreclosed.
We could probably even, as a fundraiser, we can fundraise for this. I mean, we just have to drop a proposal and present it to our friends or people who, we think would donate. a
We'll sell
substantial
tickets to the
amount of
people who
money.
be interested in fundraising for it. Bring them along.
You know what we could do is we could kind of do this as like a day-long event thing, where we do the bus tour during the day, and then at night we could have like a party, like a gala type party. I'd love to do something downtown.
Me too.
Yeah.
That would be great.
We lost
because-
4 venues last week.
I had 4
So-
venues last week?
Not all downtown, but Char's no longer doing music, Envy's closed, Patio 33 is closed, and Sanctuary on Metro is closed.
Holy crap. Well,
Wow.
that's all in the last week?
Yeah. That's,
Unreal.
That's all my gigs.
And those are
Oh.
like the biggest dominoes.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wrote. I just finished writing a 20-page business and management plan to become the entertainment director of Patio 33.
And then they just
And yeah,
Unreal.
then I read it in the paper like they sold the
Well,
place.
number one, I love downtown. But number two, I mean, that if there's any area that needs to have attention called to the fact that if there's any area that we need to call attention to in terms of the economic loss, it's downtown. I mean, downtown is getting devastated right now.
We could park the bus on the complete other side of the construction and
Mhm.
walk through it
Yeah.
Yeah.
to wherever we're going.
Yeah, so I mean, but we could have a nice, we could end it with like a nice party downtown at one of the venues down there. And you know, this
Providing
is
there's still any left.
I need help with this.
with the downtown thing too. We need to figure out. I need to figure out where to get $3,000 to hire Garris. So maybe what we could do with the downtown thing is we could, if we can't get outright donations from the club owners, we could get we could set it up as a loan. You know, if we do it I don't know, if we do it at whatchamacallit, Ray's place. Indigo. If we do it like the Indigo, for example, we could work a deal where we get the ticket, and then take a loan based on that, or something. I don't know. We could work out something. But I mean, if we can get if we can get one or two decent names to get down here and to get some attention, call some attention to all of this.
The Zappa kids?
What's that?
The Zappa kids?
The Zappa kids, yeah. If only this were 1988.
Well, it's not good for people that we want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that could work. The main thing that we have to do is we have to make sure that and if we have if we have a celebrity or two on the bus tour with us, that's that's good because that'll get some attention on the tour. But we have to make sure that we have like one simple overriding message that when this shows up as a 30-second news story everywhere that it shows up, that we have a clear statement that's going out. So what we have to do is, we can show people the housing problem, but we got to make sure that we have a good, sound-biteable solution, that we can present in the 10-15 seconds of airtime I probably get.
Well, it's also, the whole idea behind, busing people from the good end to town, the bad end to town is the human unity sort of thing.
Yeah, getting people, talking about the cooperation of getting people, from different parts of the district together. To work together on this. We could talk to the NAACP over in Dunbar and set up that. We've got a diverse range of people to talk to now.
Sure.
We could talk to the Lead Libertarians, get a couple people from that group.
Yeah, and the gap between the poor and the wealthy,
Mm-hmm.
and how that affects everyone in the economy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's.
And then if we could throw together, for the final the end the gala event is we'll have it depending on maybe it'd probably be an open door event, but we'd also have all the groups of people that we're talking to to come together for the first time.
Yeah.
In a long time. Yeah.
No, that would be important, is to get all these groups. It's like, hey, you know this guy too? You know that guy? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
must be a legitimate guy.
Yeah, with some of these Chamber of Commerce events that are coming up, we can talk to some of the business owners around here.
Yeah.
And get some people who would definitely probably don't associate with progressive politics to get in on it.
Definitely.
I know a few real estate people. That might be interested in doing it. So what we have to do is we have to focus this down to an easily digestible message, and then actually do the planning for it. Just we've got no problem with getting a diverse range of people together. We can talk to Muhammad, get some people from the Muslim community. And he's been doing a lot of interfaith work with. He's got a rabbi and a couple of churches that he's been working with.
Is that
some
like
of
a
those
big
people
priest
together.
and rabbi joke?
Yeah.
Is he working on that?
Yeah.
Two priests, an imam, and a rabbi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, but I you're right. We do need to solidify that message so that when they do that 30-second hit on the news about
Exactly.
that,
Well, I was just I was flipping through channels the other day, and I was flipping past E, and Ben Affleck went to Africa, to Kenya. No, not Kenya, to Congo. He went to the Congo. He's been going back and forth to the Congo, and he brought a camera crew with him. You know, and the little sound, the clip I was watching was, you know, he's just saying if it takes a celebrity, you know, to get people to tune in and to watch this, then that's great.
Yeah.
You know, because they're going to see what's going on. But that was all over, like all the entertainment news. You know, and that's what it takes. I mean, to get serious issues out there. I don't know if you guys saw they did a study of the news in the last year, during the last year. Out of network news, and on CBS News, 81 minutes of the entire year was actually covering the Iraq War. From the CBS Evening News, that's like out of 2,000 something minutes.
They used to have this guy called Murrow.
Yeah, that guy.
And CBS was the bottom, but like all three networks, they were all like within that range of time. And when I was talking to Garris, it was funny. He was saying, you know, that the number one best-selling publication in the U.S. is the National Enquirer. And he's like, okay, what were the top 3 stories on the National Enquirer last week? You know, Britney Spears' sister, Paris Hilton, and I don't know, Lindsay Lohan or somebody like that. And he's like, okay, now what were the top 3 stories on the morning news cycle? Britney Spears' sister, Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, the news cycle mirrors exactly what's going on in the entertainment press.
You could tell it's sad here because our entertainment press is so bad that we can't even figure out new celebrities. We're still talking about the same old people. Serious? Britney Spears, that's like 97.
What's
She should be doing like mall tours by now.
Double bill, Britney Spears and Tiffany.
Right.
Yeah.
Retro mall tour.
Well, you know.
So that's what we're up against. So anything that we do, if we want to get a lot of press time, if we want to get any press, period, it's got to be entertaining. It's got to be clear and easily digestible, and it's got to be something that we can break down into a quick soundbite. The purpose of it. It'd be nice if it would be something that could raise money too, but you know, one step at a time. The main thing is if we get the publicity. The biggest issue that I have right now is I just have no name recognition. So if we can get something where we get publicity, then we can parlay that into campaign donations and more solid campaign support. But the first thing that we have to do is we have to go out there and just grab people's attention. And we have to do it with the resources that we have available now. Now, if we can pull together something like this, particularly if I can involve the Muslim community, I can come up with the money. I really don't want one of stops to be a mosque or anything like that. But I mean, just having, you know, individuals from the Muslim community, you know, having a couple sisters with hijabs on the bus, and that'll go a long way with some people. And maybe we can go to one of these evangelical churches.
Yeah.
What's the New Life Church down here? The big one,
Or that
jumbo
big,
one.
the one out on Colonial, where
Yeah,
it's like, you know,
the-
they have the billboard and the electronic.
Yeah. The big KKK hood church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Not saying they're affiliated with the KKK, but the front of the church looks like a big Klan hood.
Yeah. Well, I'm still waiting for
Well,
one
they
of his
came back
churches to
and
put a
did
giant
full
Jesus statue out there. Like, you know, like one of those big. They
Buddy,
used to, yeah.
Buddy Jesus.
Yeah, the Buddy Christ. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Well, you know, I still think we ought to try and do some grassroots fundraising.
Okay,
you know.
with who? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do some grassroots fundraising. I'm all for that, but I need names.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, everybody I know who's politically active doesn't have any money. So
The grassroots is pretty poor.
yeah. And if we could, I mean, if we could get $5-10 donations from a lot of people, from a few thousand people, that would be awesome. And I mean, that's ultimately, I think that would be our best funding source. But the problem is, right now, I don't have the list of names. I don't have the people that we can go to do that with, and we don't have the name recognition to get them motivated to do it. If we can get out there and we can get some publicity, and we can get people to rally behind that.
Yeah. I think that's that. I think the publicity is the key. And direct them to the website.
I think we've got a good product now, in terms of. I mean, does everyone feel fairly comfortable with the platform that we put out there now, and then everything that we've been talking about? I mean, do you?
Aside from the lack of government-issued fiats.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue that we have so far is just that we've been too broad. What do you think? Do you think we've?
Well, I think that we need to put together a message so it's easier for each of us to also,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
relate to our friends or whoever, our contacts. Because that's my problem.
Yeah,
There's
that's
so
the
many
thing. We
things
got a
that
good
are
product, but we don't have the marketing.
Yeah.
We don't have, because particularly when you're going to Congress, unless you're running on one issue, unless you're a one-issue candidate. I mean, Congress isn't like running a presidential campaign where you're going to be really able to go in there and set the agenda. I mean, the reality is, if you're running for the House, you're going to go in there, and no matter what your ideas were in your home district, you're suddenly one of 435 people in that body, and you're one of the most junior members in the body. So, in terms of really being able to drive the agenda, it's hard to do. But that doesn't preclude us from. We definitely do need a clearer message.
The one piece of feedback that I get pretty consistently is actually not the fact that the message is too broad, but that it's not broad enough. Actually, more people or that more people want to see specifics. More people want to see a kind of like, remember when we were coming back from Tallahassee and we looked at what's his name's website, and it was full of
specific.
Yeah. People, I bumped into all kinds of people who want to see that.
We could do that on the website.
We need details for the people who are interested in details, but we need a simple marketing message for the middle voters.
And that's what's going to resonate more than, because it comes down to two things. First and foremost, the thing to winning an election, a local election, is name recognition. If you have that trumps pretty much everything else, unless your name recognition is associated with being a child killer.
Yeah. Unless you're running as Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, exactly. That name recognition is going to...
Well, and then you also need computers that work.
Yeah. Longer lasting batteries, that's going to be our platform.
Yeah. God damn those double A's.
So name recognition is the number one thing. If we have the name recognition, we can solve anything. We can pretty much come over anything. And the second thing is having a clear message, because all of these people that are looking for specifics, and I'm not saying I don't want to be specific, but all these people that are looking for specifics, they're in the minority. The majority of people that are the voters, they're going to remember. If they remember your name, that's 3/4 of the battle. And then if they remember the name and one message, then you got them.
And my problem is I engage in too many conversations with intelligent people.
I think we all have that problem.
Yeah.
It's just, most of the people that are going to show up on the polls on election days, it's not that they're not intelligent, it's just that they're not like political junkies. They're not engaged in the process, so you need one thing that's going to grab them and one thing that's going to associate the name of Jeff George in their heads. You know, we've got a couple of potential negatives there already, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You know, I think if we're successful, for all the evangelical voters out there, it's going to be Jeff George, Muslim.
Yeah.
I'm voting for Connie Mack. But for the evangelical voters, they would have been voting for Connie Mack regardless, probably. So
Yeah. No.
so I'm not too worried about that. I also got my first vaguely threatening email yesterday, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah. Yeah. That means we're getting some kind of name recognition.
Yeah.
Somebody thinks you're dangerous.
So that's going to either tonight or tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to write up. That's my next blog entry.
Really?
I want to address what they brought up. So, but yeah, I really feel like somebody now.
Yeah.
Body in a wood chipper.
Yeah. Hey, I feel like people got to blackmail me now. I've really arrived.
Yeah. Well, you know, it takes a certain savoir faire to be able to look over that horse's head in the bed with you and smile right back at it.
Yeah. So that's what we got to brainstorm on. I think this bus trip idea definitely has some merit. If we could do the bus trip and then we can do an event, like a party type event afterwards.
Oh, I think it'd be a hoot.
Yeah. And basically, we do the bus trip and we have a small group with us on that, and then we have the party event will be an open event. You know, something big we can get a lot of people into. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a party. It could be like a show. You know, we could have, you know, if we have a couple of, like, or if we had like Mark Maron, or if we had a couple of other people that are good speakers, you know, we could actually get an auditorium type space and sell tickets to that and just have people come in and
I
sit
kind
and
of
talk.
want Marin on the bus. Like.
Oh yeah, so would I. But I mean,
Yeah.
we have during the day we have the bus trip. We have a small group on the bus trip, and then we have the same representatives from the same group. If we have like a couple celebrities, we have the celebrities involved in something later on that night. You know, I mean, if it's a comedian, we can have a comedian get up there. You know, we got musicians. You know.
Also, maybe even testimonials from some of the people who went on the tour.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
regular people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ask them, you know, what they think of the tour.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So what we need,
Zayas up there.
first thing we need is a bus.
Room for any more Zayas up there?
Do you know of a bus that runs on biodiesel?
Not yet. I'm still working on that.
Okay, we need a bus, we need a place, and we need I'm going to say 3 stops. We can do a couple of drive-by places, but I would say we need 3 stops on the bus tour where we have something pre-planned and pre-arranged.
Maybe a restroom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
Too bad we're not anywhere near like the DC airport bathrooms.
well, you know, what I suspect, you know, is going to be the highlight of the tour is really the drive-bys. I think that going into the neighborhoods and showing, you know, going along Gordon Drive and going along Ortiz Avenue, you know, and showing the difference, you know, the different landscape, the two Americas, if you will. You know, that I think is the big hit. Now, of course, you know, we will need 3 places, you know, or a fair number of places along there where we can stop and say, here's ground zero for, you know, foreclosures, or here's ground zero for, you know, XYZ.
Do you think that there's some statistics that we can find to the internet or through some other source that tells you where the biggest percent of foreclosed homes are concentrated?
I think
This-
there must be.
Yeah, that stuff is released on a regular basis. We can also talk to some of the county offices because they put together those statistics. But what we have to keep in mind is, okay, let's say, I mean, the drive-by stuff, we can show people. Number one, we got to tie all of this together with a theme, and I think housing, the general housing issues, I think, is our theme. So what we've got to do is, if we have 3 stops, we can't just say, look how bad this neighborhood or look how great this neighborhood is.
Mhm.
We've got to show something that specifically ties in with the housing problem, number one, and number 2, that is solution oriented. Like, for example, just this area back here, like off of Unity Avenue and off of Grace Avenue in particular. That's like 2 solid blocks of boarded up houses.
Yeah.
If we went there, just as an example, if we showed people that, then we would have to say, okay, we can fix this by offering state, county and cities block grants of X amount to buy up these properties and turn them into low-cost housing, or to, reinvest in other investments in the land. So everything, any stop, number one, it would have to tie into the housing situation somehow, and we can squeeze other stuff into that too. I mean, if we have 2 stops that are specifically housing oriented, and then 1 stop that tangentially is housing but relates more to the environment or something like that, like if we could tie environmental issues to the housing issue somehow.
But you can tie that into just renewing the areas that already exist instead of continuing to expand into the wetlands.
Mhm.
That's a good point.
And thus, how about the condos downtown, which are all pretty much empty?
Yeah, want to do an elevator tour of any of the condo high rises?
Yeah. Or
Floor 10 empty forever.
going out into some of the more eastward lying developments, which lay fallow on this, it's like developed, wetlands, like out by FGCU or something like that.
What if we went out into, like, for the last stop, if we did 2 things that relate to directly to housing,
Mm-hmm.
and then the last stop we could go out to an undeveloped area, like out east, like the Babcock Ranch area or
Yeah, I
something
was
like
just
that.
thinking about that.
And if we could get like the Save the Panther Foundation or something to come out with some panthers,
Yeah. That'd be cool.
show off some wildlife and talk about that.
They have a couple panthers there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get a tour on, I think, a biodiesel swamp buggy or something like that. That would be fun also, I think, for people to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
A lot of people that live here come from different places. They can go there and see what it used to look like, and
Yeah,
go out
this
and
is-
see what we've been doing and
Mhm.
Southwest
the-
Florida, past, present, future,
Mhm.
future question mark,
So, okay, so say we went to a foreclosed property, we went to Babcock Ranch or another type area like that.
Which, by the way, is 50 years ago might be full of foreclosed properties.
Is there any? And if we did the event, I keep coming back to downtown, but I would really like to do the actual event in downtown Fort Myers, because number one, that has to do with the housing, with the effects of the housing crisis, with the effects of the economy. But number two, it's just we got a couple good venues down there. It's just a nice place. I mean, it's a good place to do something like that.
Yeah, I'm just on the cusp of losing my faith in it. But
Yeah.
Wow.
well, we've
It
got
would
French
be kinda
Connection,
neat
we've got
to,
Indigo, and if you could talk to the guys at the Sidney Davis Art Center.
Yeah. It would be kind of neat to do it on the patio, right where there's like
Or on the
3 empty
patio.
buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In between the empty businesses.
Yeah.
Well, Ray could probably lend us some tables or whatever.
Yeah, because we could set up right outside in Ray's wet zone.
Mm.
Yeah, it wouldn't
Yeah.
be too bar
Have Indigo
oriented
be
that
there.
way.
Yeah. No, I was actually thinking
but
of doing
depending on the
something.
weather.
Yeah, if we do this, it'll probably be. I need to raise the money first, and then it's going to be about a month before Garrus can actually take us on as a client, can work us into his workload. So we're looking at probably late August, early September would be the earliest we could do this.
Kind of Labor Day-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hope nobody else
once the
closes.
heat wave breaks.
Yeah, so I mean September, I would say early September would be probably our best target, because we also need to make sure we have enough time to plan this.
Yeah, and that's when people start thinking about this stuff.
Yeah, that's
You
when
know?
the election stuff really kicks in full force. So, yeah, so let's say, you know, the around mid-September, first or second week of September, would be our target for this. Okay. So, okay.